true meaning of a promise spoken under the spotlight of the world? This question arises when two members of BTS, Jimin and Jungkook, once again captured global attention through what fans call the Golden Promise. This moment is not merely a symbol of friendship, but also a representation of the emotional and professional bond that keeps BTS standing strong amid major transformations in the global music industry. The surprise came without much preamble. Behind the stage, in interviews, and in moments of interaction with fans, the two of them presented a commitment that sounded simple yet was full of meaning: to continue protecting each other, protecting BTS, and protecting the dream they had built since their teenage years. This statement reminds the public of the fact that BTS is not just an idol group, but a socio-cultural phenomenon that endures thanks to the intimacy and loyalty among its members. Why is Jimin and Jungkook's Golden Promise considered so special? The answer lies in the context of BTS's long journey. Since their debut in 2013, BTS has faced the ups and downs of the industry, stigma against K-pop, and the pressure of global expectations. Yet behind the dazzling lights of the stage, their main foundation is internal solidarity. When Jimin and Jungkook reaffirmed their promise, the public read it as a much greater statement. BTS will not be shaken by external challenges as long as the bond between them remains strong. This promise went viral within the fan community, not only because of the beautiful words spoken, but also because of the consistency of behavior that both of them have demonstrated over the years. Jungkook, known as the Golden Magne, often emphasizes his respect and admiration for Jimin, his senior as well as close friend. Conversely, Jimin repeatedly shows his role as an emotional support figure for Jungkook. This Golden Promise reinforces that reciprocal relationship and wraps it in a symbolic nuance that is easy for fans to remember. Interestingly, however, this phenomenon cannot be read solely through the lens of fandom. Popular culture academics argue that the expression of promises and brotherhood among BTS members is one of the key factors that make the group different from other musical acts. In mass communication theory, authentic interpersonal expression can create psychological closeness between public figures and audiences. This is what happens with BTS. Their internal bond is translated into an emotional bond with millions of global fans. For ARMY, the name for BTS's fans, Jimin and Jungkook's Golden Promise is not just daily news. It is a reminder that BTS still walks the same path, even as they now undergo mandatory military service and various individual projects. Fans' trust in the continuity of BTS is increasingly strengthened by personal commitment symbols like this. It is no exaggeration to say that a single sentence from Jimin and Jungkook is enough to ease the anxiety of millions of fans who worry about the group's future. In the entertainment industry, internal bonds like this can even be seen as a sustainability strategy. In music group management, internal conflict often becomes the main reason for disbandment. Yet BTS instead turns that logic upside down. They display unity as a narrative strength. Every time a sign of solidarity emerges, such as the Golden Promise, media coverage and fan reactions create a new wave of support that extends BTS's relevance in the global market. The dramatization of this promise also reinforces Jimin and Jungkook's position as representatives of a new generation of K-pop that sells not only music, but also values. If previous generations emphasized glamour and visuals, BTS presents an authentic emotional narrative. The Golden Promise can be read as a symbol of popular culture that emphasizes the importance of trust, solidarity, and gratitude, values rarely highlighted in the communication of the entertainment industry in general. But of course, not everyone views this in a positive light. Some critics argue that moments like this could be considered part of a planned communication strategy. However, the fact that Jimin and Jungkook have repeatedly shown the consistency of their relationship makes the Golden Promise difficult to reduce to mere promotional gimmickry. On the contrary, The sincerity that radiates in spontaneous moments strengthens the public's perception that BTS's bond is truly authentic. An important question then arises: is this golden promise enough to ensure BTS's survival in the future? Realistically, the music industry is always full of uncertainty. Yet in BTS's case, history has proven that their personal bond has often been the key to longevity. While other groups have fallen apart in the midst of success, BTS demonstrates a different formula, keeping promises, maintaining brotherhood, and guarding their collective vision. In the end, the news about Jimin and Jungkook is not merely a sweet story of friendship. More than that, it is the manifestation of BTS's unbreakable bond, a symbol that behind the bright lights of the stage, there are small promises that carry great meaning. In the entertainment world, often fragile under commercial interests, the golden promise stands as proof that BTS is not just a music group. They're a community of values, solidarity, and the eternity of bonds. And perhaps this is the reason why millions of people around the world still devote their hearts to BTS, because they not only sing about love and hope, but also live them out through promises that are truly kept. Furthermore, the golden promise also opens a space for discussion on how personal relationships among members can change the way the public perceives the existence of a music group. In the history of global entertainment, many boy bands or pop groups have collapsed not due to a lack of fans, but because of fragile internal foundations. It is at this point that BTS presents something different. They do not only sell performances on stage, but also multi-layered, authentic, and emotionally appealing narratives of brotherhood. Jimin and Jungkook, as central figures in this moment, have long been symbols of balance within BTS. Jungkook, with his explosive energy and multifaceted talent, is often positioned as the driving force of the new generation of K-pop. Meanwhile, Jimin brings forth an emotional side that is gentle, empathetic, and psychological stability that may not always be seen on stage, but is deeply felt by fans. The combination of the two produces a bond that is not only personal, but also cultural, a symbol that is quickly translated into the narrative of the golden promise. Fans interpret this promise not just as an individual statement, but as an indicator of BTS's collective future. Within the ARMY community, interpretations have emerged that the promise is a hidden code that BTS will remain united even while facing the transition of military service, solo projects, and the rapidly changing dynamics of the industry. Here lies the strength of BTS's communication. A single sentence from its members can create global conversations, trend worldwide, and build a wave of optimism difficult for other artists to rival. From a sociological perspective, this phenomenon can be understood as a form of symbolic ritual. The promise spoken does not only bind Jimin and Jungkook as individuals, but also becomes a moral contract between BTS and ARMY. This ritual strengthens the sense of togetherness that has always been at the core of their global fandom.